Jake Paul and Mike Tyson now have been suspended from boxing after controversial fight in Texas.
Mike Tyson and Jake Paul have just been arrested after their so-called fight turned into one of the most ridiculous spectacles in boxing history. What was supposed to be an epic showdown,
The whole thing was scripted. The whole thing was just a money grab. And for a lot of us that love Mike,
ended up being a disaster full of slow-motion punches, bizarre moves, and a cash grab that had nothing to do with actual boxing. This might not hit Tyson too hard since he's retired, but Jake? He's in deep trouble. His entire career is on the verge of collapsing, and there's not much he can do about it now. This so-called victory came with a price he wasn't prepared to pay, and now the damage is done. If only Jake had considered the consequences beforehand. Watching him try to salvage a shattered reputation. It's a classic case of crying over spilled milk, but the jug is empty, and no one seems to care anymore. Hey, looks like the joke's on them now. After making a mockery of boxing for a big payday, they've finally gotten a taste of what they deserve. They've been throwing shame all over the sport. Now the law's got them in the ring. Trust me, this is one knockout they didn't see coming. Mike Tyson and Jake Paul walk into the ring, and the world braces itself for what's supposed to be a battle of epic proportions.
Many are upset over the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight, with some people claiming that it was rigged because many people bet a lot of money and they lost a lot of money. Allegedly, there's this script that got leaked showing how the fight was supposed to go down between Mike Tyson and Jake.
I mean, come on. We've got a legendary former heavyweight champion, Mike Tyson, against Jake Paul, who's best known for making viral videos. This was supposed to be the greatest spectacle in boxing history, right? Let's cut the fluff and get to the real fallout no one's talking about. Sure, we all know Tyson and Jake Paul's fight was scripted, but the aftermath? It's even uglier than Jake's fake victory grin. Behind the scenes, major sponsors are pulling the plug faster than you can say career suicide. Brands that once plastered Tyson's face on energy drinks and Jake on overpriced merchandise are now distancing themselves like it's a PR nightmare.
the whole thing was scripted. The whole thing was just a money grab. And for a lot of us that love Mike, and despite what he said in that interview with the girl about the legacy, we love him and his legacy. And we didn't like what we saw.
And let's not forget the boxing commissions. They're not just banning these two, they're reworking the rules to avoid another disaster like this. Rumor has it that even pay-per-view platforms are considering banning influencers from getting a stage after this mess. Fans are rallying for refunds, dragging both Tyson and Jake through the mud on every platform possible. This isn't just a slap on the wrist. It's a full-blown career obliteration for Jake, and a giant asterisk on Tyson's legacy. What we got was more like a sad, slow-motion circus act. Tyson, at 58, looked like he just stepped out of a retirement home. His punches were sluggish, his footwork non-existent, and the fire in his eyes? Well, maybe it was just a trick of the lights.
The Jake Paul, Mike Tyson fight.
Interesting.
Script. How so? What do you mean by
It's just
script?
weird. It's just
Like scripted in what way?
no, I don't know. I actually really like Jake Paul. It just seems so. It's odd, bro.
The timing.
I mean,
He
it's
fights
obviously
two-
odd.
No, he fights two no names, beats them both.
If you're wondering how the boxing community reacted, here's a spoiler. It didn't go well. Fans, analysts, and even governing bodies erupted in chaos, leaving Tyson and Paul's careers in ruins. Jake Paul, on the other hand, came in acting like he's some sort of boxing prodigy, as if he's been training for years with the world's best. The guy learned how to box by watching YouTube tutorials and calling out people who couldn't resist the clout chase. His big claim to fame? Beating up washed-up fighters who are a shadow of their former selves.
And is averaging more punches than he did in that fight with McBride and in the exhibition against Roy Jones, where he averaged 24 punches around.
Like I said, I don't like the fact that they keep messing with that mouthpiece.
From the moment the match started, alarm bells went off. Tyson, a name known for his ruthless power, was throwing punches that wouldn't even scare a toddler. Jake Paul, the self-proclaimed new face of boxing, responded by tumbling around the ring as if he were auditioning for a slapstick comedy. Real comedy gold here? The payout. Tyson walks away with a cool $20 million, and Jake Paul casually bags $40 million. Seriously, $40 million for a fight that looked like two grandpas arguing over the last slice of pizza? This is the future of boxing. Bravo.
Jake Paul and Mike Tyson now have been suspended from boxing after controversial fight in Texas. Now, why, you may ask? Now, I didn't know this. Okay?
Fans quickly noticed the exaggerated reactions. Paul hit the canvas after what could only be described as a phantom punch, while Tyson's so-called punches looked more like gentle pats. The whole match reeked of something staged. Every punch, every stumble, every fake grimace screamed, "This is scripted." Hard to believe what they were seeing. Then we find out about DJ Who Kid's little revelation. The fighters were told not to go full throttle. Seriously, man? That a fight between 6-year-olds? Tyson and Jake Paul, both over 80 years old, were asked to take it easy. This wasn't a fight. It was a staged performance with instructions to not hurt each other too much. It was a circus show with Mike Tyson and Jake Paul as the clowns. But here comes the ultimate fate of these two clowns. Things just went from light sparring to a full-blown legal brawl. Paul and Mike Tyson are now not just fighting in the ring, they're also fighting in the courtroom. Yep, you read that right. The International Boxing Association, IBA, has slammed both of them with serious allegations and lawsuits for what's now being called the scripted fight heard around the world. Right, rigging is the new buzzword in boxing, and it's causing quite a stir, included Brad Clousey.
Fight 2 days in a row.
Wasn't the Tyson-Jake fight, wasn't that amazing?
Yeah. It's amazing they got paid so much money for
And
that.
it's all because of the leaked script. Fans went wild when rumors started circulating about a leaked script of the fight. Say the internet lost its mind. To these leaked details, Tyson was supposed to start the fight slow and deliberately underperform. It looked like he was past his prime while giving Jake Paul a chance to shine. How adorable, right? For fans who shelled out hard-earned money for pay-per-view and tickets, this felt like a robbery in broad daylight. Promise of a real showdown between a legend and a rising star was reduced to a circus act. The backlash was immediate and unrelenting.